This is for Math 626, and this is the problem assignment video. And first, so here's my what I would have for my problem. A couple of things actually. So I'm starting off with this will be for Algebra 2 class. It's going to be in quadratics. So I first want them to kind of investigate basically what the different unknown variables are here. So that would be what I'm going to be focusing on, is going to be for quadratics and to be able to investigate how different numbers move. But then at the end of the activity, of the problem solving activity, then I'm going to put a very open-ended question. And I just want the students to kind of talk about the different things that we might need, what would make a difference about that. So again, the topic that I'm going to be going over is going to be graphing. So when I'm looking at this, I first want the students to be able to go to Desmos. When I go to Desmos, then in here, the students will be able to play around with these sliders to be able to see what do these numbers do. So they first are going to be starting with the vertex form, and then they'll also have to go to the standard form to see what would happen if I'm going to be changing these values for A, B, and C about what's going on. One thing I hope that they can see is kind of like when I change the B, how that actually is also showing kind of like a vertex, or I mean a parabola in itself, and then this one just moving up and down. So again, going back to this, that's kind of what I'm doing for the graphing, is going to be the Desmos investigation. So they're going to be kind of looking over this in their own words. I really want them to be able to say in their own words how they will be looking at the transformation and what's going on with these different letters. Then I also want them to do the, like I said, the standard form here, and also be able to go for A, B, and C. Because a lot of times for vertex form, students are able to see more clearly what's happening, but then for A, B, and C, it's not always the same. One thing I didn't do, but I could branch off of, is trying to see, get the students to try to recognize on their own that in both forms, the A value represents the same number for both of these. So that's one thing that kind of thought about doing it as an investigation. And so then that is state the transformations of the graphs and what the values do. And at the very end, I had this open-ended questions. Well, this is going to be primarily a question that they do by themselves. And then come together to discuss what things that they might have saw, or where their partners might not have seen the same stuff. But then to end off with this question, and I really thought, and I know with this question, I got this idea from the TED Talk that we saw, and basically very open ended. So really discuss of what's this question about? How will I figure this out? What am I missing? I also thought that kind of like that same with that TED Talk, is trying to figure out, or watching a video of pretend of someone who's Jason jumping off of a cliff, and maybe showing them that kind of like the same idea of filling up the water jug. So it kind of puts a real life situation and things like that. So that is my problem assignment that I'm going to be doing in my class, probably in the next month or so, is the investigation with quadratics and graphing to see what happens, the transformations, and have them come up with their own ideas for each value, and then really ending it off with this more wide open question of problem solving with quadratics. Thanks.